Well, the life in the dormitory was pretty different. One thing that I couldn't get adapted to is the food. The dorm food normally in this country, people it's well known. The dorm food is terrible. Um, other Worse than that, we came from rice and fish and chicken type of diet. And suddenly I was faced with hot dogs and hamburgers and potatoes, and which I never ate before in Vietnam. We ate sweet potatoes, but not the regular potatoes like in this country. But I managed. Weekends, I just go out to eat, and of course was introduced to fast food in America, which is not very good, but at that time I thought it was better, much better than dorm food. Weather was different. It's cold in Chicago area, especially in winter. It's very cold. Um, every other month I had colds and developed into, and one time I had a fever, must be flu. So those came quite often. I found out the school was very easy. The standard of education in Vietnam was focused on the French education, and it was very tough. And I was one of the top students, so that makes a difference too. When it came to enrolling in physics and mathematics, I look at the textbook and I told the professors that, I've gone through all this before. In Vietnam, I even took calculus, and the textbook looked so easy. So they tested me, went through a lot of tests, and they gave me a lot of credits, almost a year's worth of equivalent credits. So that's why I could graduate in 3 years. I got my BA degree in physics and mathematics in 3 years. Aurora College was a church school, so it was quite different. Dancing is forbidden. Dating is, behind the scene. You don't horse around in school and on campus. It's a very disciplinary atmosphere. At that time, the girls' dorms are different, separate from boys' dorm, and they across quite a ways. So occasionally, we got to visit the girls in the girls' dorm, but it's not very often. They taught us how to do square dance, which is new to me. I didn't know that before. In Vietnam, I was able to learn Latin American Latin dance, the cha-cha and the tango and foxtrot and so on. Well, they don't teach that at Aurora. They only teach square dance. Of course, I joined in to learn everything, and it was not a very romantic to do square dancing because you sweat a lot by moving around. But it was interesting. The sports, I love football, but I was too small to play football, so I enrolled in tennis. So I was part of the tennis team. I wasn't very good. There were 6 students on the team. I was number 6 because I barely made it. And we went to play other schools. There's a foreign student from Nigeria. His name is Sam Soremekum. He became a good friend of mine. We're on the foreign relations team. He's a good tennis player. So I think he was number 2 or 3, I'm not sure. Number 1 was Harry Patterson. He was really good. Our team did okay, but I didn't do so well. But I got a letter and a jacket, which is new to me. Let's see. Most of the activities I was involved in was on campus, was on the foreign student relation team. The moderator of the school, of the team, was Ed Pitts. He took us, maybe about 8 or 10 of us, around the community around Aurora, the city of Aurora. We talked to high school students mostly. Sometimes they were grade school, but most of the time it's high school students. The emphasis was on trying to show the American students some knowledge of foreign people, foreign student, and what it is to live in a foreign country. So the people ask a lot of questions. Most of these students are Christian students because it's a Christian school, and they tend to focus in Christian communities. And I understand, I believe that they probably attended Sunday school where the missionaries or the pastors probably told them a lot of stories about the foreign mission. Mostly very popular was the mission in Africa. So these students asked very silly questions. The moderators asked them if they want to ask any questions. A lot of the kids raised their hands and want to ask questions. And one of the questions that made me laugh was, do you wear clothes over there in your homeland? Obviously, they had a lot of pictures from the African mission where people in Africa probably didn't wear any clothes. So I just laughed, and said, oh of course, we wear clothes. Do you have hospitals over there? Do you eat on the floor, or do you eat at the table? Or describe, how you live in Vietnam. So I was very interesting that it's an eye-opener to know how little people know about Vietnam. And but it was quite an experience for us too, foreign student, to find out, what kind of students they have in high school and in grade school in this country. Of course, I watch TV during the week a lot, at night or in the afternoon when I don't have anything to do. And I was fascinated with the cartoons, which is, sound strange to a lot of people, but we never had TV to watch at home as kids. And the cartoons were something very amusing, very funny, like Tom and Jerry, and the Three Stooges, and all these funny movies. I was fascinated with it. So when I had time, I turn on the TV. I just turn on the cartoon and funny, the kids program. I was fascinated with it.
Do you remember learning anything from or any things either that you thought you learned that turned out to be wrong, like maybe something you absorbed from TV that you thought was kind of deceptive about American life, that like in that direction, or something that you actually learned in a good way from TV?
Yes, the movies were the same type of movies we used to have at home, because there's a lot of Western, a lot of romantic movies, famous movies. The most interesting things that I wanted to watch more was sports. It's really, in Vietnam there was no sports, nothing. And the TV programs in Vietnam was very, very crude. There's only maybe one station controlled by the government, so there's not much going on the TV. But sports, and I got caught on with football, American football. And at that time, the Baltimore Colts, with Johnny Unitas as the quarterback, that was a fascinating team of football. So I got involved with watching football a lot. And another thing I got from the TV program was Elvis Presley. The music was all just rock and roll music, and in the dorm, just students just play the guitar and play the boogie on the piano, and the rock and roll music is just very, very popular, and that was another fascinating thing. It was eye-opening for me, because I've never seen anything like that in Vietnam. The weather, when it started snowing, I felt terrible. It was just bad, and I had a scholarship, very good scholarship, free tuition, free food, and free lodging. But I needed some extra money to spend, because when weekends you need to do something and it takes money to go out to the movie or to go get something to eat. So I tried to shovel the snow on the sidewalk, and boy, I nearly died from it. It's just such hard work, and they pay a couple of bucks an hour only. So, but a few dollars an hour can accumulate to some good sum of money. So that's how I earned some money, some extra money in winter. But that was very tough. So one day I approached the maintenance guy at Aurora. I said, listen, you got any odd jobs for me to do? I need to earn some extra money for spending. And he said, sure. My friend Uli Hovland from Norway and I were offered jobs in the maintenance department. So they put Uli and me in charge of painting. And I've never done any painting before. So nobody taught me how. I just figure out, open the can of paint and stir it up and cover the stair rails and cover some the wooden parts, and started painting the walls. And I ended up having more paint on the floor on myself than on the wall itself. And I almost flunked that job. But I improved quite a bit, and I became a pretty good painter. So they continued to ask Uli and me to continue to paint. Plus, there's some hard work that we had to do, like if they have a meeting somewhere that need chairs and tables, we need to move around and just do a lot of odd job works. And let me try to remember the name of the supervisor. I forgot. He's a nice old man, and he was very nice to me. One weekend, I thought, I got a date to take this girl to a movie, but I didn't have a car. Let's roll back a little bit. I had a roommate that wanted to teach me how to drive a car and get a driver license. And this roommate was very good. He took me out on the road, taught me quite a bit about the rules of the road and so on. So after a month or so, I got a driver license, but I had no car. So one weekend I had a date with this girl, and the maintenance guy happened to find out. So we were just talking at a coffee break, and I said I got a date tonight, but I don't know where to take her because I don't have a car. Maybe we can just walk around and go home. So he said, "Oh, well, the school has a car, and it's a station wagon. It's very easy to drive. I'll let you use it to go on the date." So I said, "Oh, wow, that's nice." It turned out to be a real old Plymouth station wagon. That gear shift was very easy because you just push the button. There's a drive button, there's neutral button, and there's a reverse button. It's very easy. And so I was learning on a different car. This car is nicer, but the power steering was very sensitive. So I went pick up the car and then pick up the girl, and we went to the drive-in movie, and I almost wrecked the car because the power steering was so sensitive. You turn a little bit and the car turned quite a bit. So, but fortunately I didn't get into any accident. That was a nice date.
Was that your first date, American date?
Yes, that was the first date.
How did you meet her?
She's one of the students. She's a sister of one of the guys that did maintenance work too. God, I forgot her name. Wanda Keepers.